Cathar love number 44. Are you a Gnostic or are you a Cathar? If you're a Cathar, you're both a Gnostic and obviously a Cathar. Whereas one can be a Gnostic and not be a Cathar, but one can't be a Cathar and not be a Gnostic. The reason is because a Cathar was a specific group within the very wide range of Gnosticism or Gnostic beliefs, which affected or influenced Judaism, Christianity, Islam and Christianity. The Gnosticism that I'm interested in is a pure, unmuddied Gnosticism which is unmuddied by other belief systems. And so a pure Gnosticism is a belief in a source. There is an origin, a creator of all things. But that each of us, or each living thing, has, apart from a soul, a spark from this divine source, this divine origin, which ultimately, in human case, through reincarnations, through evolvement, through enlightenment, we will ultimately return to the source. So it's a happy ending for everybody. No worries about salvation or damnation. We are simply there to evolve, learn and understand. This is quite simply Gnosticism. That's it. So with Catharism, so with that Gnosticism, it's about transforming our lives, our normal lives, so that we will, by us taking that step to transform our lives, we will transcend our normal lives, metaphysically, paranormally, and move towards our higher state of consciousness, our higher state of being. Within that journey, within that system, we will be signposted along the way, omens if you like, good omens, that shows us that we're on the correct path, the correct journey for ourselves. So Gnosticism is part of a process. By us wanting to transform our lives, we will ultimately transcend our normal lives through various things which will happen, becoming aware of our past lives, possibly becoming psychic in some manner or another, becoming more of a healer. All these areas which transcend our normal mode of living or our normal lifestyle. This is Gnosticism, pure and simple. If that's our basic belief system, that's a Gnostic belief system. Now within that we could all be going in different directions and having our own individual journeys, but that doesn't matter. It's wide, it's encompassing, and it means we have to act and think and do things for ourselves. In other words, we're taking responsibility, our own personal responsibility for our mind, our body and our soul. We are taking charge. We are giving us the authority to do that. We're not leaving that authority up to priests, rabbis, mullahs or anybody, ministers or anybody else. We are our own, we know which is best for ourselves and our own spiritual and mystic journey. This is Gnosticism. Catharism has this Gnostic basis and Catharism evolved in a period of Christianity, and it evolved from two sources: the Gnostic source, the Platonic system, which also St. Paul did when he started the Christian religion. He Hellenized the idea of Christ and Christ's ideas. He Hellenized it. He made it Greek in order to be palatable to the Romans, because at the time the Jews and the Romans were at each other's throats, trying to cut each other's throats in a terrible war. So in order to make his Christianity palatable to the Romans, to the Roman Empire, where he travelled, he then Hellenized it and gave it a Greek influence from Plato and Socrates, because the Romans looked up to the Greeks for their education and higher states of learning. So this is where the, if you like, the Paul's idea of Christianity and the Gnostic came together. It then travelled, and as it travelled, it evolved. Through Mani and others, it went to the east. It got involved with Buddhism, with meditation, vegetarian, reincarnation, although Paul was into reincarnation. So it was an amalgam of all these different things, taking, evolving, changing, growing. It was certainly not a static religion. Most religions change. There's very few religions that relate too much to their founder. I talk about Buddhism, Islam, or Christianity. They have all evolved. Some might disagree. They might have gone something, they've gone in the other direction in some cases. Be as it may. But the thing about that made Catharism stand apart was that it had a universal and unconditional love for everybody and everything, everywhere. So it was this allied with some Christian beliefs and the Gnostic beliefs. But the thing that held it all together was this universal, this unconditional love. Because the source, the one thing, the source is unknown, but we do know some things. We know that from the source, the Gnostic source, the love of the source is unconditional. Nobody will be damned. Nobody has to be saved. We are there, we're going through a process, and we will return. This is a loving system. The process that we go through, life, in our particular situation, life on this planet, can be very, very hard. But at least with the Gnostic system, the Cathar system, we do return. We're going to get a chance of being rich and wealthy. We'll get a chance of being poor and miserable. We'll be black, white, brown and brindle. We'll be straight, we'll be gay, we'll be homosexual, transsexual. We'll have tried them all by the time it's finished. But we're doing it. We're going through these different systems in order to learn and understand. But if we see ourselves in the larger picture, that at the moment I'm male, but in previous, I know one previous lifetime, I was a female, in Florence in fact. So we have male and we have female. So we have all aspects. So this is, I think it's a beautiful aspect of reincarnation. That we have hard lives, but we'll also have lives that are much more easy. Catharism had one more thing going for it. And that was, there's a transformation where you and I, if we want to transform our lives, we decide we want to make a change, we have to start on this road of transformation. But once we do that, our guides, the universe, all that is the world of spirit, all this will give us periods, times, experiences of transcendation. From this area we will grow. Some of us will become more mystical, more spiritual, and that's fine. And that's where most people, they're very happy with this state because they know they have evolved, know they have moved towards their higher consciousness. Most people are very happy there. But the Cathars wanted to go one thing further. And not the ordinary Cathar. The ordinary Cathar, the ordinary follower, the credenti, he stayed the same. He had his beliefs, the Cathar beliefs, but it was the Cathar perfecti, the male and the female Cathar clergy. These are the people who really tried to take this transcendation even further and become far more mystical and spiritual, more spiritual and mystical than physical. So really, they were actually trying to transmute their lives. It's like the alchemist who wishes to take some type of base metal and turn it into gold. So, from the Cathar point of view, you had transformation, you had transcendation, but to move into the area, the golden area, it was to transmute our physical more into the spiritual. And I think, going on the Cathar's enemies' writings, many succeeded, because over and over again in the various chronicles written by the monks and the followers who followed the Albigensian crusade, when they tried to wipe out the Cathars and they were burning them sometimes at 200, 300 at Marmande in France. They burned 400. And one soldier said to a monk, "Oh, well, shouldn't we tie these Cathars up? They'll escape." And the monk said, no, he said, when the flames are there, they'll even walk or run onto the flames. We don't have to tie them up. They're not going to run away. The other thing was, over and over again, when they went onto the flames, whether they went on voluntarily, involuntarily, thrown on, or walked on, often as not, there were no screams. The Cathars stood there and were burnt, and they showed no reaction. So, I'm not saying all, but certainly many of them must have reached a very high level of psychic, mystical spirituality, whereupon they could withstand the flames and not even scream. Now, I'm only going on the writings of the enemies of the Cathars, actually. So it's not the Cathars who are writing this. It's the church, or followers of the church, who are trying to wipe out the Cathars. So Catharism. Now, I'm not suggesting, and I'm certainly not going to. I don't see me transmuting myself in this lifetime. In fact, it's my own personal feeling that if I can manage to transform and transcend, and certainly lots of things of transcendation has happened to me, and I'm very happy with that. But as for the transmutation, where I become like the Cathar clergy, because he's Cathar, and I think I might leave that possibly to another lifetime, or even the world of spirit. But I think that's a far easier area to do our final transmutation, be that as it may. An interesting little thing that we know, because people do medical research, that the Buddhists tend to get a lot of diabetes. Now, whereas the monks, in the Catholic monks and Catholic nuns, they tend to get ovarian cancer, prostate cancer, things to do with the reproductive area. So they put the reason down to this is that the Buddhist monks, they tend to repress feelings, so they're trying to, again, raise themselves up through their mind, and so they keep their feelings at bay. So they do everything through their mind and thought and meditation, but they repress basically repress feelings. And when we repress feelings, whether you're a monk or an American, Australian or an Englishman, it's very easy when we repress feelings, we tend to move towards the area of diabetes. Interesting. Pain in, pain out. On the other hand, the religious clergy of the church, they repress, because with Christianity or Catholicism, we try to repress our sexual feelings, the body, things to do with the body. And obviously by repressing that, they tend to get more areas, cancers and disorders in the reproductive areas. Now, the Gnostic, or the Cathar, we tend to straddle in the middle, because we do have our feelings. If we hurt, we are hurt. We can get angry. We don't have to try and push our anger away. Sex is not a problem. It's your bag and this person's bag. It's not a problem as far as Gnosticism. This is your personal journey. So it's in the middle, and so therefore, so from a Cathar and a Gnostic point of view, we shouldn't be edging towards problems in the reproductive area or towards diabetes if we are following the Cathar and the Gnostic path. Now, please don't take this to a ridiculous degree, but the fact is that the Buddhist monks, they do get diabetes, and the fact is that the Catholic clergy do get, the male and the female do get reproductive problems. It's another thing of saying that it's a good idea not to repress things, because what we repress tends to come back at us one way or the other. And if we are hurt, we do have, someone does pain us, someone does hurt us, then we are entitled to get angry. It's righteous anger. You hurt us, although I understand why you did it, you still hurt me. Just a quick joke to explain righteous anger. This policeman pulled over a car and he said, I'm going to charge you because you haven't got your seatbelt buckled. And he said, I intended to do it. And his wife, who was sitting beside him, said, Officer, I'm always telling him, buckle up your seatbelt, buckle up your seatbelt. But he never does it. So the policeman, copper, he says, can I see your license? He fumbles around. Oh, look, I've left my license on the kitchen table. And his wife, again, butts in and says, Officer, I'm always telling him, please, put your license in your wallet. This way it'll always be with you. This way it'll always be with you. Now here's righteous anger. The husband says, Woman, can't you shut up? Can't you keep your mouth shut? Righteous anger. And the policeman says, does he always talk to you like that? And she says, oh no, officer, only when he's been drinking heavily. Okay. But the point is, by this little joke, we are entitled to get angry, even if we know the circumstances. So it's best not to repress and allow things to get out. So from a Gnostic or a Cathar point of view, we don't need to repress normal things in life, such as our sexuality, or we want to gamble, or we want to drink, as long as we're not doing these things to excess and harming ourselves. We don't just say, oh, I'm a loving person, and oh, he hurt me, don't worry about that. No, if someone hurt you, you do get angry. So we're not trying to contain all this with loving thoughts. Now, the point is, obviously, if someone does hurt us and we understand and we have our anger, we've got over that, we then need to get that out of our system, and this is through forgiveness. So, I trust this has given some, because some basis for looking at Gnosticism and Catharism, and also the differences between the two of them. On this note, I'll say goodbye for now.